What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the 10-minute Touch Warmup. And on this episode, we have a very special guest on the floor. This is Jeremy Miranda, assistant coach from the University of Florida. Thanks so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Go Gators.
Yeah. Oh, you did a little mini gator. One time I was shamed for not having straight
I
elbow.
know. You just work with what you got. If you
Yeah.
got full range, you can do full range. If we're, just on a podcast, little action, you go for the
Right.
small one. You get
When
it
we're
in when you
in
can.
when we're in the kitchen, we can settle for the palm to palm. I love it.
Absolutely.
We love that.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks for being on here. We just thought we wanted to hop on and have a little conversation with a staff member and a student athlete from all of the teams competing this weekend in Fort Worth. Because I don't know if you know, but you're getting on a plane tomorrow and you are going to nationals with your team.
That's happening. Let's go. We're so
Let's
pumped.
let's go. Well, you guys have had an awesome season so far, so we just wanted to chat. And if you weren't following along, we will only be chatting for 10 minutes because this is the 10-minute touch warm up. So I'm gonna start a stopwatch, and as I start the stopwatch, I need you to visualize yourself at the end of the vault runway. You know, that 2 seconds prior, so that you don't touch the springboard until the 0-0.
Right.
I
Exactly.
Yeah, I need this moment to
So
happen.
specific.
Well,
Love
I
it.
just, I mean, when we're visualizing like how we're gonna, get the perfect 10 when all you are is a hype man, I just gotta like make it happen. Period. Here we go.
Period.
Are you ready?
Ready.
Three, two, one, let's go. J3. People don't know that we call you that, but that's what we call you. Here's a thing that I want to debunk. You are more than a choreographer. You are a recruiter, you are a coach, and I don't know if the title didn't say that, but your title does not say choreographer. You are a great gymnastics coach at the University of Florida, and you have been for many years. So, can you just talk to us a little bit about what it's been like in this new season? You are no longer a volunteer coach, you are a real life coach at the University of Florida. And you put down some amazing choreography. No one can take that away from you. But you really are more than what people might see as this guy with amazing shirts on the sideline, jumping up and down, and great choreography. What has it been like in this new era of coaching, being able to get all of the things done with recruiting and everything that the Florida Gators are doing right now?
Yeah, awesome. I mean, thank you so much for bringing that to everybody's attention. It's been an honor and a privilege to work with Gators Gymnastics for this is my 17th season, which is crazy. And in July of 2023, that opened up an opportunity for a fourth coach to be paid full time at not just the University of Florida, but elsewhere as well. And I was fortunate enough to be offered that position, and it's been a game changer for me. I have always loved my role. I've thrived in that, supportive cheerleader on the side, but I'm doing choreography and just helping out where I can. But now to be in this full capacity where I am going and recruiting, I am at practice every day. We're still doing routines, we're still doing music, we're still doing all the things that we did before. But to add this layer of recruiting and fundraising and just seeing the girls on a day-to-day basis and working with them on skill selection and composition. And what's really cool about my job in particular is that I'm kind of a floater. So I don't have a specific event. We train vault and floor, we alternate those, and beam and bars every single day. So I just can kind of float to whatever event they need me on. It offers a nice variety for if Owen, for example, is out recruiting, or Adrian's out recruiting, or Jenny's out recruiting, I can be the coach on that event, which is awesome, and just offer a new perspective, a new lens. I might be saying the exact same corrections that they hear from Jenny or Adrian or Owen, but just coming from somebody else's lips, it's like, oh, it might click, something might register with them. But it's been awesome. It's not easy, absolutely, and I think that the recruiting side is probably the part that I knew the least about, just because I had no involvement in that before. So just it's very difficult to get connected with all of the other coaches in the clubs all over the country, all over the world, really, and form relationships with them and their athletes, and just getting to know them through the coaches. And ultimately they're the athletes. You try to bring in the best kids you can, but they have other desires. They might want your school, they might not want your school. And so it's just difficult because you get so attached to all of them, and you want them all to come and you want them all to be Gators. But I think just that aspect of it has been probably the most challenging, the most interesting. But I'm loving it all. I'm learning so much. Our staff's been together this is our 10th season together, which is crazy. Speaking of 10-minute interviews, 10 years we've been together, which is just so special. I mean, we joke about it all the time, but we literally can like finish each other's sentences and order lunches for each other. And we just are so well connected, which is awesome. But to continually learn from them has been really, really special in that way.
That's awesome.
That's amazing. Obviously, it's so cool to see you have that because everyone does know you as the icon who puts the Gator chomp in every routine and adds the choreography, especially working with a lot of former elites. And so you're kind of pulling new things out of them, which could be difficult, but it's great to hear you talk a little bit more about the expanded role. But I do have to ask you about the Gator chomp because I know when I was in college, like we had the M and like there's the U and OU has like this they do at the end when they're running off the floor. But I would love to know, have you ever choreographed a floor routine where you were like, where on earth am I putting this Gator chomp? It's not going to work. Because you have the iconic end of the routine, like boom. Then you have like when Leanne did like this type of thing. Like, can you give us an example of working with an athlete where you were like, I need to put this in here and I have no idea where it's going?
Yeah, actually, pretty much every single routine that we ever did for Victoria Win, we were like, there is no harsh, like strong beat that it even makes sense. And so a lot of times we'll finish the routine and there's no chomp in it for weeks. We'll go a couple weeks and just like let it simmer, and either we'll incorporate it in a spot where we feel like maybe there's just a little bit of a lull and it needs some excitement, or pull out maybe a movement phrase that isn't looking that great or they're not as confident in and put it there. So I would say the more elegant routines. It's just harder to find. It's such an abrasive, strong, locked elbows gesture that's just, it's not very dainty or pretty or elegant. So I would say those routines, the classical, more beautiful lined routines, it's difficult. Corey Hartung is another example. We like really struggled with her routines, trying to figure out like how do we incorporate this without it just looking awkward. But then we also have routines where literally we're building the music and we're like, this is the chomp. We're putting this beat in specifically because that's where we want the Gator chomp to be. So it's really cool to see like the evolution of, where does it go? Is it incorporated in the music? Does it just happen organically while we're doing the choreography session? Or do we wait 2 or 3 weeks after the routine's done and just kind of figure out from there?
I love that. So I think that like heading into nationals, the Gators have been in this position where like the Gators are just always at nationals. It kind of feels that way. But obviously our sport is one that like you got to show up on the day. You got to show
Absolutely.
up, and regionals showed us that like you really really have to show up and make it happen. So this season in particular, speak a little bit about the team that you guys have heading into Fort Worth. Like how are you guys feeling going in? What's the mindset of this team? You guys have been throwing down some great team scores and some great gymnastics all season long. It's been so fun to watch. But what's the mindset going into Texas this week?
Absolutely. Yeah, you nailed it. I mean, we do expect, there is that expectation to make nationals, and that's obviously the goal every year, but it is an expectation, and I think our athletes know that, and they rise to the occasion, and they have year after year, which we're so thankful for as a staff. We always say as a staff, we can't want it more than they want it. They've got to want it. And so they're the ones that are going to take us there. And so all we can do is coach them and give them that positive feedback and that encouragement. But it's their team. They're going to take it as far as they want to go. But I would say this year is a continuation from last year. Last year we had such a young team, and there was that build week after week after week. I think we had like 7 or 8 consecutive weeks of building our team score, which was just so incredible and provided so much experience for our freshman class. So this year was kind of a continuation of that year in the sense where we didn't lose any routines from last season that competed at nationals. And so we really wanted to just build and capitalize. And this year's been filled with adversity, as you've seen, with injuries and unexpected things that happened over the summer at Olympic trials, and just things that we had expected to be there that, you know, just it wasn't going to work out. And so we've really taken those experiences and used that as fuel. You know, that adversity can really help motivate a team. And so especially with Sloane Blakely going down this season as well, and her slotting into her new role, this team has really, they've been challenged and then they rise, and then they challenge and then they rise. And so I feel like that has built a tremendous amount of confidence with this team. And so we're just really, really excited to get out there. We've kept it so light at practice this last week. I mean, there are moments where you want it to be maybe a little bit more serious, but it's just been so fun. And this team is we're just so excited to have a wonderful weekend in Fort Worth to celebrate this sport that we love to do so much together, and just to leave it all out on the floor.
I love it. I love it.
That's amazing. Let's talk fashion, because
Okay.
you have one of the most impressive shirt wardrobes I've ever seen. I would also argue that you, Jenny, Owen, and Adrian all have very unique styles. Jenny is like bookstore chic, and then Adrian with like the glasses, and then Owen is like the all black, and then you whip out these like button ups that are truly like, I need to know where we're shopping, what we're doing. Like, give us the rundown here.
Oh my gosh. So I probably have I have a closet, a whole separate closet just of button-down dress shirts. I've probably amassed 150 or so dress shirts. So when we go through and pick out leotard, usually we pick out the leotard like, I don't know, a week or two before each competition. So I'll go to our manager's office, see the leotard, which one are we wearing for this week? And then I go to my closet and try to coordinate. So I don't necessarily like buy a shirt specifically for a leotard, but I'd like try to match it with like either pattern design or color, or, you know, just sheen or whatever. But yeah, I would say my Instagram feed is so well curated now that it just finds it for me. Like, I'm just scrolling through and I'm like, yep, that looks like me. I'll get that one. Yep, that looks like a Gator shirt. Let's get that one. So I don't have to work too hard now. I mean, before I was going on Amazon, and there's like a couple, like 4 or 5 different shirt companies that I would routinely go check out. But just varying price ranges. I have like shirts that are $250 all the way down to like $14.99. So it's kind of all over the place, but it's fun. It's like something I look forward to. And there was actually one year where, so the day of the meet, my ritual is that I post on my Instagram story the shirt of the day sneak peek, because we do a Leo sneak peek, you know. So I was like, oh, it'd be cool to do shirts. So there was one year where I didn't do it. I didn't have the shirts, and I didn't have I could not believe the negative feedback that I got. They were like, where are the shirts? This is ridiculous. I need to know what shirt you're going to wear. There's no sneak peek. Why aren't you wearing your shirt at the meet? Why are you in casual wear? I was like, okay. I guess I need to bring back the shirts. I didn't realize how popular they were, but it's so fun. I look forward to it each meet. And we've got one new leotard, I think, for sure this weekend. I've got 2 new shirts. So let's go. We're rocking and rolling. Let's do it.
I feel like you need some type of shirt deal here, because this is like an opportunity that just needs the calling. So let's get this moving, because I would love you to like, almost like you work on leotards with GK or Sylvia P. Like, I want you to be like with them going through design for the shirts.
Love it. Let's go. Maybe I could get the leotard company to design my shirts.
There you go. There you go. GK, Sylvia P. Hello. Any ozone? Anyone listening? Yep.
Mm-hmm. It's amazing.
I love it.
It's amazing. Okay. I hate this. But we're at 11 minutes. So Jay, you have a neutral deduction, my friend. But no, let's just keep gabbing. Okay. So the shirts, all the things. I just feel like you're right, because I also feel like my Amazon feed, or no, my Instagram feed is like now targeting me with like these ads that are like hype man-esque attire, or, you know, new shoes, or you know, a bomber jacket here and there, because it's just become my thing. But I think that like your guys' staff in particular, when you were describing it as like bookstore chic, like it over the last couple of years, it's just like settling in a little bit more to like the true essence of what our sport is, which is like anything you want it to be, right? You can have quarter zip that you wear in warm up and in competition, like an Owen Field moment, but then low key he has Dior Nikes on. And then you have like Adrian, like all of a sudden, like spotting in some glasses, and you're like, are those fashion frames or do you actually need those? And then you have like you, which we can now expect, after, getting hate online, we can now expect the button-ups will be present. They will look inspired by whatever leotard is being donned by the Gators. But like, I just can't get over the Jenny Rowland. You never know what's gonna come. It could be a t-shirt. It could be the coolest bomber jacket. But one thing you can always count on is that jewelry partnership that she has. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I just think it's so
Yep.
fun, and it is a testament to where our last question for you is kind of in this vein. The sport of gymnastics is in a position where growth is something that is constantly being talked about. And we did an interview with BJ Doss earlier this week, and one of the things that she said, I think is going to resonate with you, is she said that, gymnastics is kind of a gateway sport to those who might not like sports because it has essences of obviously athletics, but it also has essences of the theater, of music, of just other elements of what I'll refer to under the umbrella as like fanfare.
Mhm.
That it's a gateway for people who might not understand the plays in a football game or what a touchdown means or how you shoot a free throw or why it's 3 points instead of 2 points in a basketball game. But you can come attend, you will for sure be entertained because there's elegance and sportsmanship and athletics and showmanship and artistry and all of these things that are very important in our sport and I think are all contributing to growth. So our question for you, and we're asking every coach, is what is your what is your thing when it comes to sport growth that is important to the sport of gymnastics right now? And what is going to continue to bring fans into our sport, engage fans, and keep them coming back, with the unique nature of what gymnastics is?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I think that it's something that we talk to our team about a lot, and I think it's instilled in our culture. When Jenny came to Florida, we talked extensively about what's different from that transition from when Rhonda was the head coach to now Jenny being the head coach. What's this new culture at Florida? What are we paving the way? How do we want the program to look? And having the privilege of being a part of both staffs, it's been amazing to see that evolution. And we talk so much about individuality. And I know that it's kind of funny because you just mentioned that about just even the way that our staff looks. And that's something that we sat down as a staff and we're like, what do you feel most comfortable in? What do maybe it is sneakers, maybe it is still a dress shirt for you. Like what's going to help you be your best self? And that's what we try to instill in our athletes is we want you to be the best version of yourself. We don't want cookie cutter gymnasts. We don't want everybody to be the same. We want you to have your own voice and figure out what that is because that's what college is all about, right? To figure out who you are away from home, away from family. You have to figure out how to do your laundry. You have to figure out how to drive your car, get to practice on time, be responsible, get your homework done, all those things. Time management is essential. But I think just that individuality that we're able to really strongly encourage our athletes, I think that's what shines the brightest on the competition floor. We get countless emails after every single competition. Your gymnasts love each other so much. Is that fake? Like, they're so genuine. They're so great in their interviews. Did they stage those? It's like, no, our goal is to get them to be their best version of them. And if we're able to do that, I think that draws in fans. I think that increases fan base. I think you're more invested in the program and how are they going to do this week? I don't know this person from that person, but whatever she said in that interview really resonated with me, or her style on floor is just so intriguing. I want to see how she does it next week. Does she do it with a little more flair, or does she do it more serious, or is she more, whatever it takes to get them to just, wow, really start to lock in and invest and get excited about this sport. And so I just think that that individuality piece is so, so, so important because if you can be the best version of you and you get a collection of best versions of themselves, that is a national championship winning team. That team is unstoppable because they are authentically themselves and they're going to authentically shine the brightest that they possibly can on that competition floor.
Well said.
Nailed it. Chomp for you.
Chomp. Oh, with the straight arms. Yes, big one.
Chomp for you.
Big one, not a kitchen chomp.
Not a kitchen chomp, a big one.
Oh, no, that was awesome. Thank you for sharing that. It's been really inspiring to hear everyone's perspective of sport growth. And I think the coolest part about this past weekend of conducting these interviews has been everyone is really on the same page. Like we keep talking about the NCAA gymnastics family, right? Your competitors on the competition floor, but at the end of the day, we can all get in a room and agree that we think our sport is just incredible and amazing and something that people can learn from. And like you're speaking to, the individuality that is shining in your student athletes is something that is being modeled for young athletes to look up to. And that's what more can you ask for?
Right.
Like we can shout about stuck landings and bad scores, but at the end of the day, like if the little girl is dreaming a little bit bigger and a little bit more because of something they get to see in their hero, like
Right.
it's a win. It's a win. So
100%.
I love it. Well, J3, thank you so much for being on here today. We're super pumped that you're here.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. This was a blast.
Yeah. I also have to say, I feel like it's great momentum going into nationals this weekend that the Florida basketball team won the national championship last week.
That was huge. That was so much fun. Oh
Oh,
my gosh. Just it's been electric in Gainesville, anytime any team wins a national championship, but of a caliber like men's basketball when you've got that crazy fan base. I mean, it's just electric. You can feel that buzz on campus. Everybody's super rah rah go Gators. So
yeah.
our girls are they actually got to do a photo shoot with the national championship trophy with our yeah, so we actually just had our spring game, football game, and
Yeah.
so they did like a big presentation with men's basketball at the
Oh, that's
halftime of that. So our athletes got to be a part of that too, which is really really cool. They're so
amazing.
excited.
Amazing. Great momentum heading into the weekend in Fort Worth. So we are
Absolutely.
so pumped to see you and all of the Gators this week in Fort Worth and wish you guys all the best of luck. Have a ton of fun, and we cannot wait to see what shirts you are wearing at the two meets this week.
All right, let's go. Look forward to seeing you guys too.
Awesome. That's another episode of 10-minute touch warm up. That is an air quotes 10-minute touch warm up. But we hope you guys are enjoying and learning lots from amazing people in our sport. Well, I know that we are, and we are having a blast. So stay tuned for another episode. And I know this is a lot of content that we're providing you this week, but you asked for it. We delivered. All right. See you guys in Fort Worth. Bye.
Bye.